Riots, rockets, and weeks of civil unrest. United Hatzalah's medical emergency volunteers have been busy day and night.
So we've had almost double the amount of calls over the last month on a daily basis than we have previously. Usually we have about 1,800 calls in a day. Since, I guess, the end of Ramadan, when the violence was really getting heavy, the calls spiked to about 3,000 per day.
United Hatzalah is Israel's largest nonprofit independent emergency medical service. They rely on a nationwide network of volunteers, EMTs, paramedics, and doctors, who drop whatever it is they're doing when they receive an alert and rush out to save lives. The average response time is 90 seconds or less.
United Hatzalah takes pride in having over 6,000 volunteers from all walks of life, from Jews, Christian, Druze, Muslims. Literally anybody who wants to volunteer has a place here as long as they're qualified and take the course to become either an EMT or a paramedic. And we have about 10% of our volunteers, about over 700 volunteers, are Muslim.
In the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, United Hatzalah has emerged as a beacon of coexistence. In recent weeks, there's been a flare-up of violence and tension in many parts of the country, including right here in the East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. We came to a local medical clinic to see how Hatzalah volunteers are coping. Sami Darwish has been driving ambulances for the organization since 2008. He lives in Sharafat, an Arab neighborhood in East Jerusalem. He recently saved the life of a Jewish man during a lynching attempt. At around 3 p.m. on the last Friday of Ramadan, Sami said he saw two Jewish extremists enter his neighborhood and begin hurling insults at residents there.
Right next to my home, I was just getting back from Al-Aqsa Mosque, from last Friday's prayers, when a white Mitsubishi van drove up with two young men inside. The van was similar to those used by security forces. It had a loudspeaker, and they were broadcasting through the loudspeaker in Arabic all sorts of unacceptable curses. The van turned around. I went back to see what was happening. I stood next to the vehicle. He almost ran me over, and he made some gestures with his hands and said a few choice words to me. I ignored him.
The two Jewish extremists ended up leaving, but the story doesn't end there. A few hours later, an ultra-Orthodox Jewish man was passing through the same neighborhood. Thinking that the Jewish man was connected to the extremists from before, Arab residents crowded around him and began attacking him. Things could have ended very badly, but Sami managed to intervene.
I drove him back to a place that was safe for him. That's what is done to save life.
Khalid Rishek, another United Hatzalah volunteer, has also been very busy treating Jewish Israelis and Palestinians during riots in the city.
In Sheikh Jarrah, I helped a Jewish person who was there, someone who had a rock thrown at his head, and we evacuated him with a head injury. I gave him life-saving first aid. I also helped Palestinians who were shot with rubber bullets and struck by police. The Hatzalah organization is very important to us. It meets needs and connects people regardless of religion, race, or sex, focusing on saving lives.
Be they Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, for these volunteers, the goal always remains the same: to save people's lives at any cost.
And it takes a certain type of person to go out and drop whatever it is you're doing and rush out to save someone you don't know. But the amount of satisfaction you get from doing that and from knowing you've helped, knowing you've saved a life, is a feeling that it's uncomparable to any other feeling in the world. That's something that's shared among all the volunteers.
From East Jerusalem, Maya Margit reporting for the Media Line.
News. news needs trained journalists. The Media Line, the first American nonprofit news agency covering the Middle East, has mentored scores of students from prestigious American universities and around the globe. We are one of the best-kept secrets. Universities are partners. Students receive credit. In order to bring you trusted news, we need support for our future journalists. Please make your tax-deductible gift today. Go to themedialine.org.